What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. It's the 23rd day of May today. We're already at the end of the month. It's crazy. Time is flying, man. Time really does fly when you're having fun. I mean, the whole damn month we pumped. 22 hours, 34 minutes left in this day. The last 3 days in a row have all closed at new all-time highs for Bitcoin. It's a three days in a row. That's a trend, you guys. It's a very bullish trend. I like where the RSI is at right now. I think this is a very precarious area because if we close today red, it might cause us to come down a little bit. Maybe we'll find support and then we'll break higher. You know, if today is to close green, well, it'll fake out everybody who thinks that this is bearish divergence or a double top in the RSI and that this means we have to go down. Even if we do go down, which I doubt. I very much doubt. I'll explain why. Even if we do go down, we likely don't exceed prices too much below like $105,000. You know what I mean? We're at 111 now. So even if we do go down, so what? Big whip, big whiff, big whip, big what? How do you? Big whiff. I think that's what it is. Who cares? Is what I'm trying to say. Who cares? You find support at this area, and then you'll continue to run. You'll go all the way up to 130, 140K by the end of the month. That's the expectation. The reason why I don't think we're going to move back, and I think that we're going to close today green and we're going to absolve this bearish divergence on the daily time frame. The reason why I don't think that we pull back is because every move we've had so far has been at least 12%, if not larger, right? From a low to a high here, that was a 15% move. From a low right there, not the low of the range, but like where the move began to like the high, not the high of the range, but where the move ended, 14% there, right? 15, 14%. If we take this low again, not the low of the range, but where the move began, low here to high there, we're only at 9%. Oh, oops, I missed one right here. Low here, not to the high of the range where we were already consolidating, but the high of the move, 11%, right? We're only at 9%. I have a hard time assuming that as volume's building, as we're breaking out to new all-time highs, and then just this newfound momentum in the space is coming along, I have a hard time seeing us stopping right here. It doesn't make sense for me to stop here. In fact, the only place to me that makes sense for us to stop any kind of to any kind of significant degree for any amount of time would be something at about $121,000. I very much believe that if we look at this where we are in the fibs right here, we are on a path at least that ends here by the end of the month of May. If we're not there, and again, the way that we've moved too, it's like 3 days, boom, we're there. 3 days, 4 days, boom, you're there. 3 days, 4 days, boom, you're there, right? We just started moving 3 or 4 days ago. I guess actually, to be fair, that's an argument to be made that this could be the move itself, but I don't think that it is, man. I really don't think that it is. In all fairness, because I mean, if we talk about it, this move is on its 4th day now. Each of these only took 3 or 4 days. So there's a point in the bear's favor there. You got to take the good with the bad, right? But looking at the RSI, looking at the 4-hour RSI, I'm not convinced that we're going lower, right? We're building with volume coming in. Volume's coming in now and we're not really going anywhere, which I guess, to be fair, is not ideal. It does make you wonder if we will pull back at all. You know, maybe we do pull back a little bit, perhaps back to the all-time highs right there at 109,000. Maybe we do pull back all the way down to 105, 106K. I don't expect that we do. But there are things that that makes sense for that to happen if it were to happen. I'm still calling for us to go to the upside, but if we do, just understand it's not a big deal. Calling for 121K like this, we're going to move up in a nice swift motion. But if we do this first and then we go up, that's okay. Okay, it's not, Bitcoin's not broken. We can have a bearish weekend over Saturday and Sunday and then recover next week, you know what I mean? And it's not uncommon to do that actually. So 4-hour RSI looks very bullish. Looking at the 1-hour time frame, somewhat bearish with these lower highs coming in, but at the same time you have lower lows with higher lows here. You've got a flat top with an ascending low structure here. This should break you out to the upside, right? Lower lows with higher lows equals hidden bullish divergence. It's actually a good thing. So you've got this hidden bullish divergence on the 1 hour. Looks like if this was a consolidation phase, you're probably at the point where you'd break out. So I would anticipate today to be a green day, Friday to be a green day. The short-term time frame agrees with me. The 4-hour time frame agrees with me, which is also pretty short-term. Daily time frame is the only thing that's skeptical. But if today closes green, that skepticism goes away. And then likely as soon as it goes away, that's whenever we correct. But I do anticipate that this run will provide a stronger reading in the RSI than what we've seen already. That anticipation should line us up with some kind of price, you know, some kind of reading that's around 90 and then some kind of price that is around this $121,000 area. Stronger readings, stronger moves, new all-time highs. It all makes sense to me, man. I hope it makes sense to you. I don't know if I have anything else that I want to say. What else could we say? I mean, hell, you know, we got 2 days, 23 hours left in this week. You guys, we are in the overbought zone on the weekly time frame, right? Let's just analyze this real quick for this bull market and last bull market. Let's just do this for both bull markets, right? Last bull market was kind of odd. Maybe we'll even do 2017 because a lot of people are comparing. You know, I saw it today. I've been wondering what the comparison was to 2017. I couldn't really see it, but I get it now. I really do get it now. Like I see the comparison. It's just more drawn out, right? You see this, like how it's moving up, and then each of these like long consolidation phases here and here and here. It's like where we are now is basically equivalent to this part of the 2017 cycle, and now we have the rest of this to go, right? Like we're halfway there, or 2/3 of the way there, and we have another third to go, or something like that. And on the log chart, 2/3, 1/3, that could put us at 500K. You know what I mean? Like it really could. And I'm not saying that we'll grow exactly like that. I see the similarities now. I don't know why I never saw them before, but I'm just talking so much right now. What was I going to do? Oh yes, we're going to analyze what happens since the 2017, 2015 bull market and the last bull market. What has happened every time we've been in the weekly overbought zone? Well, here, and once you get into the weekly overbought zone too. Once you get into it, not just where the top is, right? So once you get into it here, you got overbought there, and that was your first time getting overbought all market, right? It was basically this week. You grew for 2 weeks. Okay, you grew for 2 weeks, and maybe I should do a percentage. You grew for 2 weeks, and you grew from a low to a high 92%. The next instance of being overbought, it was basically the same instance, but you could talk about there. I mean, here you got overbought right there on this week. From a closing point to a high point, you moved up for 2 weeks again, and you moved up. I can't get it right there, but that's like 27%. I can see it. I know it's 27%, 27 right there, 27% over 2 weeks. Bitcoin moved up 27%. Here it was overbought on this week. We'll go from the closing price to the high again, 48% over the course of 3 weeks. Over the course of 3 weeks, the next 3 weeks that Bitcoin was overbought, once it got overbought, it continued to grow 48% over a 3-week period. Okay, you get overbought here. Your first instance of being overbought from the weekly close to where your high is. Where your high is in the RSI and where your high is in the price too. So here, your price is at 43%, but your high actually comes in on this red candle. So 65% over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks, something like that. 10 weeks, less than a dozen weeks, a little bit more than 9 weeks, right? 65% and weeks and weeks and weeks of growth, essentially. This is going to take too long if I keep doing this, but essentially you get what I'm saying. And the moves will only get bigger. Let's just do last cycle, and then we'll do this cycle too, because there's just so many of those damn readings. I didn't expect there to be. From a closing price last cycle, what we saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks later, 142%. 8 weeks time, we got overbought 142%. From the high of the overbought zone, that initial high, that would have been 59%. And instead of 8 weeks, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks later, 4 weeks. 4 weeks instead of 8 weeks. So 4 weeks, 59%, 8 weeks, 142%. Does that make sense? Just that's what we saw starting off the last bull market. And then whenever we got overbought here, it wasn't a whole lot, but from the closing price to the high, we did grow another 10% in about a week or two, 12% in about a week or two there. That's kind of a week one-off. We had COVID and all these kind of other things going on back there, but who cares? You know, we'll count it as part of the data. Closing point here on the weekly price, once you got overbought, that brought you all the way up, you know, I guess to your high in the RSI. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks later. 10 weeks, 221%. 10 weeks of growth. And this is probably more comparable to like this phase in 2017 right here, and what we're seeing here as well, right? 10 weeks of growth there. And then I'm not going to measure these times, but I mean, obviously you continued to grow, but you didn't cross into the overbought zone here, right? Here you cross into the overbought zone. You did not get immediate growth, but this is the end of the cycle. So we won't really count that. I mean, maybe we should count it, but that might be a sign then that we're at the end of the cycle, something to consider in that kind of context, right? Here you got overbought. Man, this is taking way longer than I thought it would. Here we got overbought, and we went up 10% over the weeks to come, right? I'm not saying, and 10%, we've seen that happen like twice in all of these measurements, right? 10% is not what I'm expecting to happen. I hope it's clear as to what I'm expecting is going to happen. From a closing price high over here, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, moved up 49%, right? Probably made my point by now, but I'm just going to keep going for the hell of it. 68% over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. 68% over 6 weeks, 49% over basically that same amount of time, 221% over 10 weeks, 142% over 8 weeks, blah, 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 a bunch of growth, weeks on weeks on weeks of growth. One moment it was 10%. One other moment over here, it was 10%, right? But COVID times, all-time high times, we're not in either of those times right now, you guys. And we are at all-time high times, but I mean end of cycle all-time high times, right? It was different. It was different. What we're doing right now, we're just getting started. This is the first week, right? We've only gotten, last week we were not overbought. This will be the first week. So let's say that we close here. We won't close here. We're going to close higher. So then the targets only get higher. What's the average that we see in here? I don't know. What's the average? We got 27 at the lowest, 92, 48, 65, 142, 221 toward the end of the cycle. These ones get bigger. We didn't even measure these. Toward the end of the cycle, they get bigger. 10%, 49%, 68%. Looks like, in fact, as the cycle's going on, we are getting bigger, stronger reads as well. Here we got overbought. We didn't even do that one. Damn it. Let's see. From there, like 5 weeks later, up 34%. So how high are we going to go? Where are we going to go from here? 5 weeks later, 8 weeks later, 10 weeks later, right? We're at this bar now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. That's what we got until July, right? Including this week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 weeks until we're in July, you guys. 6 weeks from now. 6 weeks and 2 days and 23 hours from now. Something like that. 6 weeks, 2 days, 22 and a half hours from now. What are we going to be up? We're going to be up 33%. That feels a little bit low, but maybe. It feels a little bit low in the context of where we are in the cycle too, where we saw some of these bigger movements happen once you get into the overbought zone. And if we look at this cycle here, really the movements are getting bigger as we go through. I guess this movement was a little bit smaller in all fairness. Where are we going to go? I'm thinking it's going to be bigger than 30%. If it's at least bigger than 30%, we're probably going to see something that's over 150K, right? 40%, 60%, 50%. What are we going to see? I'm thinking we're going to 170 to 180K, and that's what's going to happen, right? And that basically fits right in the middle, or right in this range of what we've seen happen. And to be completely fair, for where we are now, it might not be bullish enough. Or perhaps we get more growth afterwards. Perhaps we get some kind of relative high in the RSI, come back down, and then we continue to grow as we did back here, as we did these various times here, as we did right here even, you know what I mean? And I actually do anticipate that this move, man, I'm just going on, but we're going to keep going here, because I do believe this right here, right? I do believe that this move here, what we're going to see, is going to be very similar to this move, where unlike the rest of the bull market, here you moved up, very long consolidation. Here you moved up, very long consolidation. Here you moved up, very long consolidation. I don't think that our next move is going to have a very long consolidation. I think it'll be like this, maybe even shorter, a month and a half, something like that, 2 months at the most, probably less than 2 months' time, but over 1 month's time of consolidation at the end of June. That's what I'm expecting to happen. And then that'll be probably at like 170 to 180K, something like that, right? Up in this area, we'll consolidate, and then we'll continue to run, right? I'm expecting this, what we're in right now, is very similar to what we had already seen in this cycle. I just think this move, whenever it's said and done, will be bigger. And I actually kind of am curious, what would this be from a low to a high? 196. I think this move is going to be bigger from a low to a high. That puts you at 220%, yeah, right? Stop around here, and then I think you'll actually be bigger. You'll probably end this move somewhere well above 200K, if not above 300K. And I think the cycle is going to end at 500K, but we'll see. I mean, the way that I have it drawn here, the cycle, Bitcoin could top somewhere between 2 to 300K. It's very possible. I've stuck with 500K my whole damn time doing analysis since, since before I even had a YouTube channel. I've been thinking 500K would be where we were going to go. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. If not 500K, definitely something in the 200s or 300s. For now, we're at 111K. We're going to move up to 170 to 180K. I got nothing else for you guys. I think the ramble rant is over. So hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here and doing the homework and just seeing what normally happens again. That last little part that I got obsessive over was just what happens when the weekly RSI closes in the overbought zone. And are we going to get a little weak thing like this? Are we going to get a weak thing like this? I don't think so. I really don't think so. We're in different times, right? First bull market pump, bear market pump, right? Different. Or I guess this is the end of the end of the bull, right? The very last bit of the bull. We're in different times. We're not at the finale, the end of it yet. We're not in the beginning of the bull market. We're in full stride, and when we're in full stride, we move like this. So I hope it's clear as to what's coming, right? I don't care how many weeks in a row it grows, that the RSI grows before it tops off. Even after it tops off, we're still growing more. This consolidation stuff, this 5 months consolidation, 9 months consolidation, 7 months, however long it was, 4 or 5 months of consolidation here, that's done. We're not, the next time that we consolidate like that, it's going to be the bear market, you know what I mean? But it's not going to be a consolidation. I think it's going to be a quick sell off, but we'll get to that whenever the time comes. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.